35th Annual Awards Banquet. Yes, that's true. That is true. It is a pleasure to share this night with all of you after the year we had, and what a year we had, right? As many of you know, the Annual Awards Banquet is a tradition that takes place to celebrate our business community. And tonight, as I think Angela said, it's extra special because we get to do 2019 and 2020. So we get double awards tonight. This pandemic has tested our community, but we came together to forge a new beginning, and that is what we're here to celebrate tonight. So let me first start by thanking our sponsors. Their support is what makes this happen. Our event sponsors are Ogilvy Properties and Five Field Companies, and Steve and Phil, are you? All right, Steve's over there, so if you haven't said hi to Steve yet, please reach out and say hello. Thank you, Steve. Our social media sponsor this year is Swedish Medical Center. And if you grabbed a beer when you came in, it was provided by our beverage sponsor, Resolute Brewing Company. So thank you for that. And the awards tonight were provided by Frame to Art. And I guess, unfortunately, Brian had to catch a flight somewhere. And so he's not with us tonight. But let's give everybody a big hand for our sponsors. Thank you all. As I mentioned, this was a challenging year for the Chamber, and making it through this was a group effort. And we could not have done this without the support and the guidance of our board. So here to share our current board members and officers is our president, Carol Willis.
It's so good to be here. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and welcome. I just wanted to take a moment to say, yes, it has been a really hard year for all of us as individuals and as businesses. There may be people in the room who have lost loved ones. There may have been people who have had other consequences as a result. We acknowledge that, and we recognize that. But also, here we are. We have made it through. The pandemic continues, and so I also want to take the time to thank you all for prioritizing health and safety of our neighbors to help us all make it through this and to finish well. We want to finish it well, right? As David said, my job here tonight is to introduce the board. And while all the chamber members have been part of getting to where we are today, the board has also been very important in this. So to begin with, I'll introduce the officers, the current officers. So my name is Carol Willis. My business is the Clapping Oak. I provide writing and editing services and communication training for individuals and organizations. I am currently, and will be through the rest of this year, the president of the Chamber. Tracy Brummett is the vice president of the Chamber. Tracy is the community relations coordinator for Cafe 180, where everyone can eat regardless of their ability to pay. And you will notice the dinners that we have tonight are from Cafe 180, and aren't they delicious? Tracy brings over 25 years of experience in relationship building, marketing, and networking in both education and nonprofit worlds. Andrea Mannion is our treasurer. Andrea is the owner of Mannion and Associates. Her firm specializes in accounting and tax preparation. Her experience ranges from sole proprietorships, LLCs, corporations, and nonprofits within a wide range of industries. Debbie Kelly is secretary, and Debbie couldn't be here tonight either. She's actually traveling someplace in the tropics. Nice, huh? Debbie was born and raised in Englewood and runs two businesses out of her home. The first is Premier Travel Planners, which hence the travel. The other is called Restore Physical Therapy. She is a doctor of physical therapy and as such delivers therapy to elderly clients in their homes when they are not able to leave their residences on a regular basis. The remaining board members are Judy Brown, owner of Judy Brown Realty, Clarice Fortunato, who is the district school, family, and community liaison for Englewood Schools, George Gastus, the founder and owner of Grow and Gather, AJ Guanella, sales manager at John Elway Chevrolet, Kara Hamersky, director of marketing and PR at Swedish Medical Center, Darren Hollingsworth, economic development manager for the city of Englewood, and finally, Jason White, treasury management advisor for First Western Trust. So to make it all official, may I have someone make a motion to accept this board for the year 2021? Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Let's give them a big hand. And before I hand the mic back to David, I have to recognize our staff because we have two amazing people as staff of the Chamber of Commerce, David Carroll as our executive director and Lindsay Runyon as director of marketing and communications. They were doing a wonderful job before the pandemic, and during the pandemic, we saw exceptional creativity and resilience from them in leading the chamber. So thank you both so much.
Thank you, Carol. So now what we wanted to talk about a little bit is just give you a little bit of highlights of what the Chamber's accomplished over this past year. Then we'll take a break and we'll get to why you're all really here is the awards. So let's talk about that, huh? When we started to learn about the pandemic, like many of you, we were kind of wondering, how are we going to make it, right? I mean, essentially our programs and events were canceled. But we really trusted our community and listened to our businesses. And so here's our story of the past year. When many of our businesses were asking, how are we going to do this business in a new environment, the Chamber put together a variety of resources to help our business community understand the new rules and continue to try to drive customers to our businesses. One of the first things we did was a 5-part webinar that addressed issues like, and this word, contactless payment systems and PPE in the workplace. I didn't think I'd ever have to say those things. Many of these have been viewed by hundreds of people on our YouTube channel. And when our restaurants were closed down and needed help, we were the first to start the Time for Takeout campaign that we later partnered with the city to get a broader reach for all of those restaurants and bars in our community. And then we worked with our retail businesses to create the Gift It Guide to encourage people to buy gift cards when they were to be used later on when everybody got to open again. And even though we were sharing as much information as we could, we started to hear from all of our businesses that they felt isolated and were missing that kind of camaraderie of getting together. And so we started to host basically everything virtually, right? I mean, all like many of you. We had virtual coffees, we had virtual idea labs where members taught other members about new employment laws or moving your home-based business to a commercial space. We started hosting our thought co-ops where we talked about a new multifamily development plan for the old Sports Authority campus, Steve. And, or just recently we talked about the new design of the 285 Hampton and Broadway interchange. And one area that I think within this programming that was a little disappointing for me was in our Englewood Leadership Exchange, because that's our young professionals group that was just getting started, right? And they had plans for programming in May and June, and so all of this kind of stopped that momentum. But what I found great about that group is they have regrouped. They found some interesting topics to talk about. And so we've had speakers from San Francisco talk about co-housing, to other folks from New York talk about private and public partnerships with our city parks. And so that group is starting to take off again, and so that's really exciting. With all of these programs, we soon realized that we needed to expand our communication channels to reach more businesses. And so this led us to expand our Facebook presence. We created an Instagram account for the first time. We had a LinkedIn profile. And largely due to that first webinar that we talked about with the city, we started the Chamber's first YouTube channel. And right now we have, I think, 20 videos that includes many of the programs we've talked about. We had a great, thanks to Angela, a great program on there where we talked about Zoom presence and how to position yourself and look better when you're having these Zoom meetings. And what I thought was really interesting, and maybe is obvious to all of you, and you realize that, but YouTube is not just localized in Inglewood. And so many of these programs that we were putting out, we were getting requests from a chamber in Ohio, a request from a chamber in Arizona, and there was one other that I forget what they were, but asking if they could use our Zoom links and use what you guys were teaching others to teach their members. And so I thought that was really exciting. And just about this time when everybody was getting used to the new normal, many businesses told us that they needed more help. And so we worked with the city of Inglewood to develop additional funding and support. Thank you. When the city was considering reducing fees for third-party delivery for our restaurants and bars, we organized a small focus group to help council members understand how this would affect our local restaurants. And then when we heard from our nonprofit businesses that needed financial support, we worked with our city to develop the nonprofit recovery grants, and the same thing with our home-based grants. And thanks, Sean, for a lot of that. Thank you. And most recently, when many of our businesses were saying, hey, we're doing okay, we're starting to get better, but we're a little concerned that we're not going to be able to bring as many customers back, we worked with the city to develop the latest marketing and consulting grant, if you've seen that one that's been out there. So we realize that there's more to do, but I wanted to make you all aware, if you weren't already, that your chamber's working on your behalf. We're doing what we can to work with the city to make sure that all of you are here today. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody too, if you hadn't seen that. Thank you. So, thank you. And so as we were working with our businesses, we also noticed that our workforce and the businesses were trying to match skills with positions. At that point, we partnered with ACC and Arapahoe Douglas Works to develop some online programming. I don't know if you remember back in September of last year, there was a lot of people looking for work, but there were very few jobs. And we know this because we worked with the folks at Arapahoe Douglas Works and the city to create this virtual employment expo, which was basically a job fair. And I think at that time, I wish Darren was here, we thought that maybe we would get 30, 40 people show up. We had 10 jobs available, and we had over 200 people show up to try for those jobs on that virtual fair. But the good thing about that, if there is a silver lining, is it also taught us that many in our workforce at that time would need new skills. And so we worked with Arapahoe Community College and the city and developed a training boot camp where the students received help on their resumes and classroom instructions. And I think I know Angela, I know AJ, I think there were some others that helped with that program at ACC, if you remember. And so that was all in all, I think, some good programs that we tried to help. There's still a lot that needs to be done, as you know, but using Zoom to create these classrooms and programming was something new for all of us, and I think we really adjusted. And all of you, thank you for all of your help in creating those programs with us. And last of all, when we started to open at limited capacity, when the community was opening at limited capacity, businesses told us they wondered if people would come out to shop. And this was before our second shutdown, if you remember. And so we developed partners and programming with others that would encourage people at least to get down into our central business district. I don't know if you remember, this was really early on with the Inglewood Pops. That was a effort to just kind of get musicians to play throughout our streets, encouraging people just to be able to come down and know it was safe. We did the puppets of the Sleepy Hollow, working with the city. That was something we walked around and got them connected with all of those businesses. That was a real success for us around Halloween time. And then last of all, and thanks to Lindsay a lot for this, we created one of our own programs called the Murals and Mason Jars. And I know many of you provided gift cards, and all kinds of things for the folks to find. And basically what that was a walking tour along our city to look at the murals. And then in Mason Jars, they found little, some of the coupons or the gift certificates that you all had provided. And we were hoping, I think at that time, maybe to get 50 people. And we had to max out, I think it was close to 70 or 80 people. We had just run out of things to give the people when they got that. And so we're looking forward to doing that next year, getting people down, getting them to explore our city. I think one of the nicest things about that is people are like, this is really cool. You guys should expand this into Denver and other places. And we're like, no, we're here in Inglewood. That's what we're trying to do. So, all of this, that we shared this with you tonight, is why we're sharing this, is so that we can celebrate our business community and be here tonight to do that. And so that is my presentation. We're going to take a quick break to get ourselves set up for the awards. So grab yourself, if you want, to take another drink, another libations, and we'll get started to have a little fun and celebrate all of our businesses in town. Thank you, guys. All right, everybody, should we get started? All right. So since we weren't able last year to have this event, we're going to start with our 2019 award winners. And just to let you know, last year was the first year we opened up the voting to a larger audience using some of our social media and those avenues, channels that we had. And in 2019, we had over 700 votes, people voting for these businesses. So a lot of exposure and a lot of people sharing their love for the businesses here in Inglewood. So the first award that we have is Emerging Business of the Year. This award is presented to a member in the first year of operation and has demonstrated business excellence in growth, new employment opportunities, or may have renovated or built a new facility. Our nominees this year, I won't read through all of them, but the award goes to Apex Combat Academy. Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. I'll keep it short and sweet for you guys and keep the ball moving. Thank you, David. Thank you, chamber members and community members. I just want to say it's such a pleasure to be a part of such a fun, small, tight-knit, well-communicating community. I'm very thankful to be a part of it, and can't imagine being a part of a crazy business city like Denver. You know, this reminds me of home, and very thankful. So thank you guys.
Thanks, buddy. You bet. There you go. All right, our next award is the Business of the Year for 2019. This award is presented to a member with a minimum of 2 completed years of business and has demonstrated sound business practices, leadership, involvement in our community, or exceptional employee relations. And our nominees are, and the award goes to the Englewood Grand. Hello, there we go. Our next award goes to the Community Organization of the Year. This award is presented to an organization that, through its work or unique or special projects, has generated community pride and has had a significant impact on our community. The nominees are listed up there. And this award, in 2019, goes to the Englewood Public Library.
Hi, I'm Michelle Brandstetter. I'm your adult services librarian. If you don't have a library card, please come visit me. I just want to say thank you to the businesses that support the library, whether it's our rotating artists exhibit and you've sponsored a reception, or you allow us to come visit you for books at the bar, which if you're not in a book club, come see me. We thank you so much because it makes quite a difference. Thank you.
All right. So this is also a very special one. We have Chamber Member of the Year. And this award is presented to a member who demonstrates an active interest and well-being in the Chamber and has made a significant contribution to the overall success of the Chamber and its members. We had a lot of nominees that year. And the award goes to Boo Crosby. Go ahead. And we reached out to Boo in Nashville, and he gave you this message. Boo did tell me that he was going to be back here next month, so pick up his award and maybe say hello. So just to let everybody know. Great. And so our last award for 2019 is the Lifetime Business Achievement Award. And this award is presented to a member that has shown a proven commitment to doing business not only in Englewood, brought the broader community and our nominees. And the award goes to the Rotary Club of Englewood.
Now, our main charity right now is giving scholarships. We just gave out $11,000 scholarships to Englewood High School students and to Colorado's finest. And in the last couple of months, we received a bequest from a former member, and it will go to scholarships. The bequest was $250,000.
That's great news for everybody. Isn't it? Thank you. All right. So we needed two tables, 2019, 2020. So you can look at it. So the 2020 awards, just wanted to let everybody know that we had over 1,400 votes for the businesses at that time. So lots of people getting lots of exposure. That was really exciting. And this year we added a new category. The category was Resilience and Innovation Award, which all of us probably could have won because we all had to be innovative and resilient. But this award is presented to a member who has bravely soldiered on during these unprecedented times and not only reopened, but has also done their best to help support the community. These businesses are thinking outside the box, solving problems in innovative ways, and exploring new ideas and acknowledging that now is not the time for business as usual. And so our nominees this year had a good group of folks that were nominated, and the award goes to Brewability. Definitely. So again, this 2020 is our Emerging Business of the Year. This award, again, is presented to a member in its first year of operation and has demonstrated business excellence in growth, new employment opportunities, or may have renovated or built a new facility. These are our nominees, and the award goes to Front Range Pharmacy. So now we are on Business of the Year. And just a reminder, this award is presented to a member with a minimum of 2 years completed year of business and has demonstrated sound business practices, leadership, involvement in the community, or exceptional employee relations. Again, we had a really great group of folks nominated this year, and the award goes to Trumpo Bakery.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I have to say, I really think this award should be, the name should be changed. It should be Survivor of the Year. This has been, out of all my years in business, the most humbling year that I've ever worked in business, honestly. And without the chamber, it wouldn't, we could have been the non-survivor. So I can't even, I don't even know how to thank you all. Chelsea and I, when we would reach out for support, for names, for contacts, for opportunities, the chamber and the city of Englewood was always there. I think everybody who works in the city of Englewood here would probably replicate my emotions that we're blessed to live in a community that supports us like this. So it's my 1.5 years owning Trumpo Bakery and working with the chamber, and the smartest thing, honestly, besides buying the business and hiring the staff that we have, the smartest thing I did was to join the chamber. And I thank you all very much for your support.
And I also want to give a huge thank you to the Chamber, Sean, and the city as well. The grants and the opportunities that were given to us this year were paramount in helping us succeed and survive through these crazy, crazy times. So along with all of our other chamber members, I know a lot of us have developed a really great relationship together. So we thank you, we thank all of our customers, and we're just so grateful to be standing here today. So thank you.
Community Organization of the Year. This award is presented to an organization that has its work or through its work or unique or special projects has generated community pride and has had a significant impact in the community. Again, some really great nominees, and the award for 2020 goes to Tri-County Health.
Really just to shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for all the questions, all the participation. We thought for sure this was going to be an airing of the grievances today. So I brought my colleague Kathy Stotts here if you have questions. But really it's true, you guys have been so innovative, and we always say if you haven't joined our All Business webinar every Friday, it's really, we know the science, but it's all of you that know the business, and you've given us the ability to go back to the state and ask for more information and guidance documents, and we come to our All Business webinar with the latest information, and you guys come with the latest questions for us to go back and really dedicate our resources. So just a shout out to all of you, really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And I will say that early on in the pandemic, I would attend those webinars, and they were so valuable to kind of understand what was going on and where we were going as a community, and how we were going to make it through this as a community. So thank you for that as well. So, so we're moving on to Chamber Member of the Year. This award is presented to a member who demonstrates an active interest in the well-being of the Chamber and has made a significant contribution to the overall success of the Chamber and its members. And we've had a lot of great people in our community, as you know, and so we had a lot of nominees this year. But the overwhelming winner this year was Sean Lewis from the city.
I just want to quickly say that I'm very honored by this, but I also really want to accept it on behalf of all the city staff that's worked so hard to help businesses. Our leadership from the city council has been invaluable, and we're just so proud to be chamber members. This is a great chamber of commerce, and I'm just proud to be associated with all of you, and let's keep going.
So I'm just going to say something about Sean as well. He was, when we were advocating for some of those businesses, and we'd, you know, a lot of the for-profit businesses were getting some help, and our nonprofit community came and said, hey, Dave, we're not going to make it through this. And oftentimes, nonprofits are not always in the same realm. I mean, even for the chamber, we were excluded from the first PPP just because they didn't think of a 501c6 as that. But we sat down with Sean, explained to him what was going on with both the nonprofit and the home-based, and he just got it right away. He was like, I get it, let's do it, let's make this happen. And so thank you again, Sean, for all of that. I think that was really important. So our last award of the night is the Lifetime Business Achievement Award. This award is presented to a member that has shown a proven commitment to doing business not only in Inglewood, but the broader community. We had a lot of great businesses nominated this year, but the award this year goes to Craig Hospital.
Well, I'd just like to tell you how honored I am to accept this award on behalf of Craig Hospital. We have been at our current location since the early 70s, and if you're not that familiar with us, that's a good thing. We care exclusively for patients who have had traumatic brain injury or spinal cord injury. And I will tell you that the community of Inglewood has always opened themselves to us, not only our staff, but also our patients and families. And what's interesting about that, it's not just for pleasure that we enjoy the city of Inglewood, but oftentimes we partner with businesses to bring our patients there as part of their therapy. So thank you so much. This means a lot. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is our program tonight. But before we go, I'd like to start by thanking Sacred Grace for giving us this space to gather. That's pretty impressive. We want to thank Cafe 180 for these great meals, so thank them for doing that. Bird's Eye Photography, we want to thank you. Thank you, Peter, for taking some great snaps for us. And again, let's have a big hand for our sponsors, Ogilvy Properties, Five Field Company, Swedish Hospital, Resolute Brewing, and Frame de Art. Thank you. And also, we can't forget, or I can't forget at least, to thank Lindsay Runyon, who has worked so tirelessly. She makes us look good. She makes everything. We came here to celebrate Inglewood's business community tonight, and I think we've certainly done that. Thank you all, and have a good night. So.